Hey, namaste. This is Sacredowl with another chapter of Real Talk by Sacredowl. Today I want to share my thoughts about parenting. Yep, the big P, parenting. And the reason I'm sharing my thoughts about parenting is because I noticed today as I was walking around, I observed parents trying to different styles of parenting, and parents trying to get the kids to behave a certain way or to quote unquote act right, and I actually heard saying, well, why don't you just act right? And what it was is that the child was just touching everything because the child was like 4 years old and just wanted to experience what it was touching. So let me break something down to you about parenting. When it comes to that, children are natural scientists. They love experimenting. They love to figure things out. They love to get things on their own. That's how children build their confidence, by discovering something, understanding it, and therefore now they've conquered it. And to them, it gives them a sense of self-esteem that really works for them when you allow them to do that. But what we can do is, over parenting, one of the mistakes that we make as a parent is that we focus on the child learning to respect us, and instead of teaching them how to respect themselves. And what I mean by that is that we set rules down, well, I want my child to respect me. Well, your child will respect you if you teach him how to respect himself. Because if he learns how to respect himself, then there's no need for him to disrespect you. Yeah, that's right, light bulb. Teach your child how to respect itself. And how do you teach a child how to respect itself? Accountability. And what I mean by that is, when a child has an action, there's always a reaction to that action. And so there's consequences. And so when the child makes a certain action, you should teach the child accountability. What did this child do at this particular time that was that created the consequences that they are going through at that time? Whether the consequence is something they're suffering through or something they kind of enjoy. But you helping them to understand the consequences is a form of helping them to learn how to respect themselves, because what they do is, once they deal with consequences, they know, if I do A, B is going to happen. If I do C, D is going to happen. If I do F, G is going to happen. And one time I did a little experiment with one of my children, and I allowed them to stay up as late as they want to, because every night it was a fight about going to bed. So I just let them stay up. But of course, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke them up and they had to go to school. Of course, they had a bad day in school. They did this for 2 days in a row. And after the second day, they realized that they was tired and they were aggravated. And guess what? All on their own, they went to bed on their own. Consequences. That's what I did. I showed them consequences. Did they suffer for 2 days? Sure. But guess what? They didn't fight the rest of their life trying to stay up late to prove a point, because I told them, don't stay up late because you're going to get tired. And they said, oh, I am going to stay up late because you're wrong and I'm going to prove you wrong. And guess what? Guess what that does to their confidence? Brings it right down. Because as they continue to try to prove their parents wrong, or prove who told them whatever they told them to do wrong, they now are suffering consequences that they will never admit to, because they want to be right. And that's the problem with overparenting. And that's the issue with trying to teach children respect instead of teaching them consequences. Our children, our generation coming up in this day and time, they are warriors and they don't play. And they're coming up with this attitude and this fortitude about themselves, and they're empathic and they're gifted and they don't know what to do with these gifts, and they see things that they're afraid to say because they feel that they're crazy. And these kids are power kids. They come in here to balance the world. And we as parents can't teach them the old-fashioned way, because the old-fashioned way does not apply to the new-fashioned kids. It doesn't work that way. And a part of overparenting is, you better respect me. You better respect me. You better respect me. I heard the other day an elder woman who was about 56, 57 telling her 40-year-old daughter, respect me. I kind of almost fell out my chair, because I'm like, really? We're still doing that and she's 40? Well, wake up here. If a parent has to constantly say, you need to respect me, that means that they themselves don't feel respected. They themselves don't have respect for themselves. And so they want to now put that burden on the kid by overparenting them with a bunch of rules that sometimes are just not necessary. Kids are curious Their curiosity and their desire to learn is what creates them questioning things. That's what they do naturally. Why do you get pissed off that they question you? Why? Because we are stuck on an old idea. Hey guys, parenting is not an easy job, and I'm not saying you're wrong, because if you love them, you're right. But just teach them accountability. Action, consequence. Action, consequence. Action, reaction, consequence. Teach them that. I hope I helped you today, guys. Peace. Love you.